All right, so again, welcome everyone to UMBC Transfer Fest 2020. We are so excited that you were able to join us tonight. We really appreciate being here. We're excited that you're interested in UMBC. My name is Anna Conger. I am the transfer coordinator here in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions and Orientation. So I do a lot of work with our transfer students, whether you're coming in from a 2-year school or a 4-year school. I'm definitely here as a resource to you to sort of help you navigate that transfer process. And tonight I'm joined by my colleague, Nathan. I'm going to have him introduce himself really quickly.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nathan Fanning. I'm an associate director in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions and Orientation, working specifically with transfer students. And for those students who are coming from CCBC, I am your point of contact at UMBC. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we'll provide my contact information throughout the session. But Anna, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. So we like to start off these presentations with just a quick overview of where UMBC is located exactly. For anyone who might not be from the immediate area, you're not quite sure where we are. So UMBC is located about 15 minutes south of the city of Baltimore. So if you are a Maryland resident and you know where 695 South and 95 meet just south of the city of Baltimore, that's pretty much where our campus is located. This is an aerial view of our campus where we have about 500 acres. It's very green. As you can see, I'll use my little laser pointer here. We are located within a circle here. This is Hilltop Circle. It's a very walkable campus, lots of green space. You can't actually drive a car from one side of the campus to the other, so it is a very pedestrian-friendly area. And just to give you an idea of what the layout is, if we were to sort of draw a line through the center of campus here, this whole top half of the circle is where all of our academic buildings are located. So this is where you'll be attending all of your different classes. If you want to try to get a workout in between class, we have our recreation center here for students. And then the bottom half of this circle is where all of our residence halls are. So and our on-campus apartment buildings. So we have 6 residence halls and 4 apartment buildings on campus, about 4,500 beds total. Right now we are working with reduced capacity because of restrictions with COVID-19, but under normal circumstances, we have space for about 4,500 students to live on campus. Another quick feature we like to point out is our event center off sort of to the left here on the side of campus. That is one of our newest buildings. That's where our athletics facilities are for our student athletes, our basketball courts, our volleyball courts is where all of our games and things are played. It's also where we hold our graduation every year. And then sort of right here in the center of campus is where the Alvin Okun Library, or AOK Library, is located. This is where you'll find the Office of Undergraduate Admissions and Financial Aid, in addition to a whole 7 floors worth of study resources, study spaces, and things to kind of help you as a student. It's a really great place to hang out sort of in between classes as well. So just to give you some quick stats about UMBC, our school colors are black and gold. Our mascot here is True Grit. True Grit is a Chesapeake Bay Retriever. Overall, our school is about 13,000 students total. We're considered a mid-size public research university. Of that 13,000, about 11,000 are undergraduate students. We do have 2 campuses. That aerial view was of our main campus in Catonsville, just south of Baltimore. We also have a second campus down in Rockville at the universities at Shady Grove. Overall, we have 61 different majors. I won't get too much into the academic programs because I know we had academic overviews with each of our colleges a little bit earlier this evening, as well as some of our pre-professional programs. So if you didn't make it to the session for your specific college where your major is, be sure to check out the recordings as a registrant for tonight's event. You will be receiving those recordings if you weren't able to make it to your college overview as well. But we have over 60 majors to choose from, 70 minors, different certificate programs. So you really have the opportunity at UMBC to make your degree your own based on what your different areas of interests are. So thinking a little bit beyond your major, so the major tends to be sort of the main thing that we consider when we're starting at university, right? But we do have a lot of really awesome opportunities in addition to your major options, both inside and outside of the classroom. A lot of these folks, for anyone who attended the sessions a little bit earlier this week with our Honors College, our different scholars programs, our research department, we had some really great programming earlier this week. Again, I don't want to get too much into it, but in case you didn't make it to those specific sessions, we do have tremendous opportunities to really push yourself academically, whether it's becoming a student in the Honors College and really having a more interdisciplinary approach to your academic experience at UMBC, or conducting research, which has amazing opportunities at the undergraduate level, specifically for transfer students. It's something to be aware of coming in the gate so that you can really be prepared to jump into research and get involved in that once you get to UMBC. We also have tremendous career preparation resources to help you find that job when you are getting ready to graduate, as well as finding internships and things while you're still working towards your degree at UMBC. And then we also really encourage our transfer students to get involved. We have different student clubs and organizations that you can join, whether it's more hobby related, or do you just want to have fun, like our Humans vs. Zombies Club, or if you want to do something that's more academically focused, that will help you build your network through programs like Engineering Without Borders, or joining the Pre-Med Society if you're thinking about going to medical school after UMBC, and everything in between, from social justice groups to cultural groups. There's a really diverse way to get involved, to find other students who share common interests with you, and really find your community and connect. And as a transfer student, we really want you to connect, and connect early when you get to UMBC. So those student clubs and organizations are a really great way to do that. We also have the Transfer Student Network. For those of you who may have joined in the session on Tuesday night, we heard from some folks from the Transfer Student Network. That's a program that's run through off-campus student services at UMBC. They have all kinds of programming and things for transfer students, as well as resources to help you connect and navigate, particularly in your first year at UMBC. So a few tips for becoming a retriever. The first is to do some of what you're doing tonight, exploring your major, really figuring out what it is that you're studying and where that intersects and where that fits with different programs that are offered at UMBC, but also planning your transfer, right? That's another huge step sort of as you map out your next steps after your current institution, especially if you're at a community college right now. We do have some tools that can help you in that transfer planning process. We have Transfer Central, which is an online tool that UMBC developed. And this can be useful whether you're transferring from a 2-year school or a 4-year school, but you can use Transfer Central to see how the credits that you have taken at your current or any previous colleges that you've attended, how those would transfer towards your intended degree at UMBC. It also has a ton of resources in there to explore different majors and to find additional campus resources, or checklists that you can use to help you with the transfer planning process as well. For those of you at a Maryland community college, you may be familiar with ARTSYS, which is run by the University System of Maryland. That can give you some more specific information about how the courses that you're taking at your Maryland Community College will transfer to UMBC specifically. So it'll give you equivalency information. So if you're taking English 121 at Howard Community College, ARTSYS can tell you how it's transferring into UMBC as our English 100 and as an English composition general education requirement. We also have the Transfer Student Alliance. This is a program that's open to students who are attending a Maryland 2-year college, so any of our Maryland community colleges. I do encourage you to go to umbc.edu/TSA to check out that particular program. It's a really awesome engagement program that allows you to, or enables you to connect with UMBC while you're still at your community college. And it's something that you're going to want to apply to sooner rather than later. So if you're just finishing your first semester at community college, apply for TSA at the end of the semester once those final classes have posted. You do need at least 12 credits and at least a 3.0 GPA to apply for membership. But I encourage you, especially if you have at least a year left at your community college, apply for TSA, go to that website, see what the different membership benefits are, both before you transfer as well as at the point of transfer. There's an awesome scholarship and some additional perks for TSA members as well. So jumping into the UMBC application process specifically. So for our transfer students, there are 2 really big things that we need from you. The first is your application, obviously. So we have an application specifically for transfer students through the Common App. And we also need official transcripts from every college or university that you've attended. If you've attended multiple schools, that's fantastic. We just need official transcripts from each of those schools. If you attended a university outside of the United States and you're bringing in some international credits, make sure that you also submit a course-by-course credit evaluation of your international transcript in addition to that official transcript. Anyone who's transferring that has fewer than 30 college-level credits at the time that you apply, we're also going to ask for your high school information, so particularly your official high school transcript, and for your SAT or ACT scores, we may ask for those as well. We also ask for, or you have the option, excuse me, to submit up to 2 letters of recommendation. Those can come from professors at your current school, If you still stay in touch with any teachers from high school, a coach, a mentor, anyone who can speak to you as a student, as a person, and really help enhance your application. If you choose not to submit letters of recommendation, that's totally okay. We don't count that against you, but those letters of recommendation are a way to further tell your story and who you are as a student in coming to UMBC. We also have a $75 application fee for any students for the common application as well. Our average GPA for admitted transfer students at UMBC is a 3.0. Keep in mind that that's an average, that's not a minimum. So if you were somewhere in that range, that's really awesome. We want to look at more than just your GPA. We're going to be looking at the different coursework that you've been taking, your academic progression, your trends, things like that, in addition to all those different pieces of that application, like your essay, letters of recommendation, all of that good stuff as well. Application deadlines are really, really important, particularly for transfer students, and it's different from when you applied as a first year. So I know a lot of first year students are like, November 1st is the date that I need to remember forever. So for transfer students, it's totally different. If you're thinking about transferring for the spring semester, October 15th is always the priority deadline for spring applicants. Otherwise, December 1st is the regular deadline. So if you are thinking about transferring to UMBC this coming spring 2021, there is still time to apply. Make sure you get that Common App and that official transcript to us in the next couple of weeks. If you're looking at fall, particularly fall 2021, again, these dates never change from year to year, but the priority deadline for the fall is always March 1st, and the regular deadline is always June 1st. So for priority deadlines, I want to talk about that for just a minute. If you want to be considered for transfer merit scholarships, it is critical that you submit your application and your official transcripts by that priority deadline. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So speaking of scholarships, there is a session right after this one with the scholarships and with our folks over in financial aid and scholarships, and I encourage you to jump over there at 7:30 once we're finished here. But in case you didn't have plans or you just don't have time to attend that session, I really encourage you to go to financialaid.umbc.edu to learn a little bit more about the financial aid process. If you are planning to transfer to UMBC this spring, the deadline to update your FAFSA to add UMBC school code to your FAFSA is December 11th. So if you haven't already, make sure you add UMBC's code to your FAFSA so that you can get maximum institutional, state, and federal need-based aid for the spring. Otherwise, every academic year, March 1st is always the priority deadline for submitting that FAFSA. So you can go ahead and submit your FAFSA for fall 2021 if you would like as well. We also have additional scholarship opportunities available at scholarships.umbc.edu. For transfer merit scholarships, all that's required is submitting that common application and all of your official transcripts by that priority deadline. We have another tool called Scholarship Retriever on the scholarships website where you can find additional scholarship opportunities. So I really encourage you to check that out as well. Some frequently asked questions that I will get, Nathan and I both get from students that we want to just run through really quickly. One of the big questions that I get is, how do my credits transfer, right? That's probably why a lot of you are here tonight. You might be curious about how your credits may transfer. So I mentioned before, Transfer Central is a really useful tool to help you answer that question, as well as, again, if you're at a Maryland Community College, ArtSys is really helpful as well. In addition to the information that you get from Transfer Central, there are links to our 4-year pathways that can help you kind of map out what courses you need to be taking in those first couple of years if you're at a 2-year school, or to help kind of determine where you're at if you're at a 4-year school. But ArtSys, Transfer Central, really useful tools in helping you to determine how those credits transfer. Another question I get is, how many credits can I transfer? And if you're not asking that question, you should be, because it's really important information to know. So UMBC accepts up to 90 credits total. Of that 90, a maximum of 60 can come from a 2-year school. So if you're at a 2-year community college, let's say you took AP exams, and maybe you took a couple of classes over the summer at a 4-year school. Fantastic. You can transfer up to 60 from that 2-year school, and then test credits, additional credits from those 4-year schools can be transferred in addition to that, up to 90 credits total. So that's AP, IB, CLEP, any of those exams is in addition to that, up to 90 credits total. Another question I get for anyone who's getting ready to apply to UMBC is how you submit your transcripts. So in order for your transcript to be considered official, it does need to come from the institution directly to UMBC. There are a couple different ways you can do that. You can request your official transcripts through the Common App. And if you're applying to a lot of different Common App schools, that can save you a little bit of money because your transcripts will be sent to Common Application, and Common Application will then distribute your transcripts to all of the Common App schools you apply to. Otherwise, you can have your transcript sent directly to us. The best way to do that is electronically at be sure to direct it to undergraduate admissions at UMBC. There are different places that you might see that you can direct that. Admissions@umbc.edu is the email address you should always direct those to. And again, another question I get is, what does that priority deadline mean? What does it mean to apply by priority? Again, the priority deadline is for consideration for transfer merit scholarships. There's not a way in the Common Application to select that you want to be considered priority. So I know as a first-year student, you might have been able to select an early action decision plan as opposed to a regular decision plan. For transfer students, everything's just sort of considered regular, right? But making sure that you apply by that priority deadline, that's how you get considered as a priority student. So one of the really awesome things about UMBC, at least I think so personally, is that we have a really awesome team of admissions counselors who are here to help you with the transfer process. So these are all of our different transfer admissions counselors. They are assigned by state or county within Maryland for any of our local Maryland folks. Nathan mentioned that he is the admissions representative for CCBC students. I am the admission representative for Anne Arundel Community College, Howard Community College, or Montgomery College students. He and I, if you are attending an a Maryland four-year institution and you're looking into transferring, you can contact either Nathan or I. Otherwise, jump over to undergraduate.umbc.edu/meet your counselor to find out who your admissions representative is. We have all of their email addresses here. And if you don't know who to contact, you can always reach out to me or Nathan, and we can help direct you to your specific admissions representative. So that is all that I have for today. Thank you again for joining us tonight. We'll put our email addresses in the chat in just a moment as well. But if you would also like to get a copy of our transfer review book, you can scan this QR code and that will take you to a form that you can complete. Make sure you scroll down a little bit if you're on your mobile phone. Complete that form, submit it. It'll give you immediate access to our digital view book, and then we'll also mail you a view book in a few weeks as well. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll jump into our Q&A.